how to draw a water lily. So first we're going to draw the lily, and then I use color pencil to stay in the line. And we're actually on site here looking at real lilies, so let's check them out. Alright, so I don't know if you can see what I see. I'm going to stand up and look at this pond. I see a lily over here that is actually blooming, and there's some that are all the way in full bloom. And so what I'm going to do is take some photography of those lilies, and we're going to be drawing them in class while looking at the real thing. So let's get started. What I have for you here on my art pad is a drawn out lily. And you guys know I have a tattoo by my daughter Emily, who's in heaven. And her lily from her art just is the way we're going to start, just with the outline. Oh, that's be strong, for the Lord is with you. There's the lily I'm talking about, and there's my daughter Emily in heaven's name, the Cambodian language. All right, so get your paper ready, get your pencil. You can outline in Sharpie before you watercolor. I got my watercolors here for my background, and I have my colored pencils, and I'm going to give you all the same supplies to stay in the lines, to do some shading with your lily, and if you see I did a little fish or anything you want for personal expression afterwards. All right. So the first step for the lily is, and this is going to be a lily pad, is I like looking at the lily pad. The lily pad, some of you guys just draw a circle. Instead of a circle, see how it goes diagonal? And I'm looking at the lily pad. So you kind of go diagonal. And if you look at Monet's lilies, and we're going to be doing that in class, one of the world's most famous artists, all his lily pads kind of goes sideways, diagonal like that. All right? See how that? Then in the lily, I start in the middle. I come up and go in. What I do is one petal at a time. See how I did that? I did one petal. Then I go right there, and this is the way I'm showing you my daughter Emily does her lilies. You come up to the middle and down. See how I go right back to that spot? Then I'm going to go again up and down. See, I came back to that spot. My pencil's still there. Then I'm going to come up. I'm going to make this one a little more pointy. You get to shape your petals. And then this one's blooming. I'm coming right across. All right, so you might have to practice. You can erase if you have a pencil and restart. You can even have your lily have another one or two petals on the side there, really full bloom opening up. And then I try to darken in the lily pad that it's on. And once I have my petals drawn, right, because now it's kind of floating and have a little shading underneath. Now, you don't have to have it see-through. You can use your eraser and have each of these petals not be so see-through if you don't like that type. More of, these are called the water lilies. My favorite is a Cambodian pink water lily. Here at the gardens where I'm at, this public park, they're white ones. But then I was at the botanical gardens yesterday. There were yellow lilies. You get to do whatever color you want. Now, look what I'm doing with my pencil. I'm going to hold my pencil on the side. And this is called shading. Most of you guys know that if you work on shading slowly, going from dark, let me show it to you right here, to light, with the side of your pencil, you start dark where there's absence of light. Here's under the leaf. And you're going to slowly let up and get it lighter as it comes out. And that's going to add a little depth to your art if I could teach you to do what's called shading. From dark right there, where there's absence of light, under the lily pad. And then I'm going to release the pressure on my pencil and do a little bit of circularization, some lines going back and forth like the flow of the water. And true story, I'm probably going to show the video in class. There was an alligator I saw at the botanical gardens yesterday, so you could even do like a little eye peeking out here. But see, alligators freak me out. They kind of scare me because they can, I don't even want to say what they can eat, not good things. So I'm going to maybe do a dolphin in here. But that's where you can add personal expression. I added a fish there. We'll work on that later. Today's lesson is focusing on the water lily. You guys know I like adding pink sunsets. You could add all your favorite colors you want. So each petal, we're going to slowly go where there's absence of light, go darker to lighter. If you could each petal add a little tone, a little shading on to add some depth. And that flower petal right there, see it's in the background. It's back further than these ones that are closer, right? So this one's going to have a little shading right in there, where there's a little shadow. And if I could get you to think about one petal at a time and shade it, you can have more depth, more dimension. Right here, underneath the flower is going to be a little shadow on the lily pad in your art. Okay, so we are going to practice this again. I have one lily. My next lily, I'm going to do the one not even blooming yet. You just do kind of like one petal or an oval shape. See it here? Then a stem. And then once again, the lily pad is sideways, guys, not straight on. So these look like they're floating for depth. Then it's usually right down the middle of the lily is where it's going to start to open up. And you could have a little color in there. Or you could just have it just slit. And this is where I'm going to have the shading on the side here for dimension. Okay? So wherever the light's coming from, the shading's usually on the other side, but the light's from above for these lilies, so I'm going to have the shading under here. I'm going to slowly do what I just taught you in shading to add a little more depth. Now that I got those lilies on there, you can decide what color lily you want. I'm going for pink, and with your colored pencil, if I could teach you to do the same thing I just taught you, and stay in the lines and do a little circulation, not just those scribble lines, but go around the curve or the way the flower petals are going, and that way I could have you stay in the lines, add a little more depth, and you notice you could see your pencil shading right through the color pencil if you pick a light enough color. Okay, so you could still see my shading, and that is my goal with you guys, and I hope you're working alongside me. I suggest today, instead of watercoloring first, because if your paper is soggy, you can make a hole in it if you add the color pencil on top. Why don't we start with the color pencil? And if you don't have enough time to slowly shade and add the color with your color pencil, you can also use watercolor, paint right on top of it, and add some more depth. Just got some pink on there, and go right with another layer to brighten up your petals if you could stay in the line and pick the right size brush, okay? So since this lesson, I just brightened it up, and the water always reflects. So I'm going to go back and forth. Notice the direction I'm doing when I do the water. Back and forth. And remember, you want to decide where your horizon line is going to be. I'm going to do like a little tree line here, and I'll teach you how. If you want to keep going with me, you got your watercolors, you can keep going. If not, you can stop the video and work on your lily. I got some muddy water here. You guys know I'm going to have to dump it out. If my water's green, booger green or nasty black, I'm going to dump it out. Ready? Dump out the water and get some fresh water. All right? That's my low too. So I'm going to get some fresh water here at the park. I got my water. If you need fresh water, do it. I'm going to mix up my brush, and I'm going to start with the background. I'm mixing. What color am I mixing here? I'm going to mix yellow and have like a sunset here, because you guys know, if you know me and I'm your teacher, I'm teaching you now circulation. So I had someone say, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to do purple. All right, so if you're going to do the purple and the blue in the sky, do any of your favorite colors, you would probably do what I had that student do, yeah, you, Aiden, is I had him do the purple and the blue cloud first, up at the top. Then use circulation to make it natural. And he wanted yellow right under his purple blue cloud. So what I said is then stop. After you do that dark on the top, you're going to work on the bottom of your composition and let that dry for a minute, because if the purple and yellow mix all the way together, that's going to be a nasty brown color. So you want to then work on the bottom of your composition while you give that time to set the purpley color so it doesn't totally bleed into your yellow. So, and if it starts to bleed a little bit, it might have a little bit of a dark tone, so you just want to go like this. Practice around circulation to show a circular form with your clouds. You go like that, all right? I'm going to show that swooping motion, and if your drips are going the wrong way, tilt it. Remember, like rocket, back and forth, and use the control drip, and lots of what? What am I using, everyone? Water. If I'm your teacher, you guys know I use lots of water to have you naturally do more of a controlled drip. See that drip? Let's flip it. Drip's going the other way, so you want to control the drip, you guys as artists. Now, the sky is always reflected in the water, so I'm going to add a little pink and yellow in my water down here, because the way God made it. And look at the way the direction of the water goes. It's not going up and down, guys. When you add your water ripples, you want them to go side to side. Now, they're way too stripy for me, right? So I'm going to add lots of what? Water. And I'm going to go like this and have it do more of what's called the bleed in watercolor. And bleed it out a little bit, all right? So I'm going to have a little bit of reflection throughout my lilies. And if I don't like it and it's too yellow, I got too much, get your tissue, your paper towel, and dab it up. Okay, you could also wipe or dab gently and lift a little bit of the color if you do too much. All right, say you don't like a color, lift it off. All right, I'm going to keep going with this. If I'm your teacher, you're going to see the finished masterpiece in class, because I'm going to be going around working with you, watching you follow this tutorial in class and see if you need help. All right, so I'm going to stop the video and let you keep going with this idea, and then we're going to compare and see what color you want to add. If you're going to add anything flying in the sky, you're going to add personal details. I'm going to add, I left all this room in the sky because I'm going to add a Bible verse about peace or hope, which is my personal theme and my communication with an audience and personal expression. So think about what you can add in your art as you express yourself. And you know me, it's going to be hard to stop painting if I'm not done, but I'm going right over this lily, and then I'm going to do a layer on top of these with color pencil to finish. Right? So that was your how to draw a lily. And over now from today's lesson. Can't wait to see yours. I'm going to try to end with you guys seeing the real lilies here. Again, in the water. I wonder if we can zoom in and get really close without an alligator attacking me. There's the lilies. They're in bloom. So cool, right? And over there, I thought it was a pink lily. This is something floating.